Hey everyone, I'm just waiting for my moderator to jump on. I'm running a little bit late. As those who know me know that I tend to do working outside of time and with time so much has required that I come into a place of both acknowledging that time does not exist and it is a construct that we use here because it is a substance that I work with. So anyway, my intention with these lives is to connect with others who are seeking deeply within the self to evolve and expand and remember. And healing occurs, and I say healing loosely because it is a word that's loaded that can be problematic when proper context isn't employed. Anyway, healing occurs through the shedding of all that we are not so that we can remember and become all that we are, all that we already are, that we have been, that we came in as. So that's something that I've talked about a little bit more in depth in a recent video. You should be able to find that easily if you're interested. Tonight, I intend to just kind of flow with the collective Akash. So I'm going to essentially, at this moment, not necessarily tap into any one person's Akashic record, but rather I am always functioning as a conduit stream for the true and quantum Akash, which is spirit. So in this holographic record, the Akash is part of the Godhead, and that is something that is not recognized in many circles because it is a deeper aspect of knowingness. So everybody is part of the Akasha. The Akasha is the primary substance. So it's what we weave with, it's what we create with, it's what we are, and it's how we remember and how we tap into any number of infinite quantum probabilities at any time. So I'm just going to kind of close my eyes and flow for a little bit about everything that seems to be going on energetically. We can look at touch points that are being presented to us in this physical reality. And depending upon which group of people or which individual you ask, everybody will have a different energetic connection to these physical reality touch points. And because I strive to keep my work apolitical, I am not going to mention specific touch points that many people are seeing in the news today. The news that is fed to us in many places on the internet. And I want to mention that while we are so grateful for the internet, and it has been used for much good and much connection, and my own life has greatly expanded, and I have found my people. I have found people who are crucially important to me and my becoming and true friends through my use of the internet. We must acknowledge that the true, original, organic web of weaving worlds, realms, love, and consciousness is us. We, as well as the tree root mycelium network, that network, the network of our heart-mind coherence that's connected to every other heart and mind in this realm, is actually what the World Wide Web is based on. So I wanted to mention that because much good has come from it, but it is also being used as a control mechanism. And that has been coming up in my own personal life and in a lot of work that I've been facilitating with clients. So, like I said, I'm just kind of connecting. I'm kind of opening myself. One woman I respect calls this the divine line. Some people might call it a channel. I call it the hollow bone, the central channel, the core of me, to both receive information and transmit it. And there's going to be a fair amount of alchemical transmission. The mother would like me to reiterate that there will be alchemical attunement and transmission that will be specifically and exactly titrated and calibrated for each listener for whom this is intended. Alchemy is messy, and it's also exact. And it is in the tension of feeling like things are uncomfortable and messy that the reaction, the catalyst occurs. And that's the first thing the Akash is wanting me to mention. And we are living through massive catalyst after catalyst. And I, functioning as Oracle, mentioned multiple times to my private small group last year in 2023 the upcoming shifts of the mother of the earth, and that we would see many groups trying to take more responsibility for shifts that the earth, as Gaia, as Tara, as earth, have decreed. These shifts are those of the mother, creatress, destroyer. And that doesn't mean that it's easy to live through. What it means, we came here to do just that. And it is in understanding that this will continue until she determines that whatever it is, whatever the process that she, as a consciousness, as a master, who is remembering herself, who is cycling through densities and dimensions, it will continue. And we are here to steward this until the shift occurs. And right now in the Quantum Akash, there is several different ways that this shift can occur, and everybody will get to choose. We are here on massive soul retrieval, as I speak of often, and I'm being shown many people. This is an interesting visualization, but essentially like skydiving from the other side into this realm with like backpacks of rescue, emergency rescue materials in their backpack. But this is representative of the soul rescue mission that we are here to facilitate for those who have forgotten. And this, we as the Akash would like to mention, offers another look, another consideration for what it means to be in a sovereign, autonomous, free will realm for the individual who is not really an individual at all, but is in this now, in this place. When free will can be used against an individual, is it still free will? We offer that frequently for Sarah's consideration. And you'll notice I go back and forth between speaking in like what sounds like third person. And it is not because I'm channeling. I do not channel. I simply become a greater part of me than I am in this body as Sarah, and become, I come into a state of communion with the primary substance. So is free will free? Is it real if it's used against those who allegedly have it? And that is what we would offer as a point of consideration for everybody who listens tonight, tomorrow, and in coming days. Who gets to decide what's best for you, your children, your family, and everybody else? Who gets to decide who is competent to make their own decisions? When is free will extended and when is it taken away? Is your free will being used against you? And if it is, or if yours isn't, but there is a mass collective of people whose free will is being used against them, and tacit consent is being taken, assumed, consistently and constantly, what do those who have more awareness do about it? How are you, as part of the awakened whole, the more aware whole, the group who's a few more steps ahead on the collective path, how do you perform massive soul retrieval to spur a remembrance for a people who doesn't know they're lost, for a people who doesn't know how fragmented they are, for a people who cannot remember, who does not remember how many times they've gone around this wheel again and again and again, stuck in the forgetting. We, as the Akash, recognize, respect, and honor human sovereignty and free will. And we ask you to do the same, but with deep, expansive, intelligent, and compassionate consideration for what that means. If we are here, if you are here, and we are here together as a collective of individuals who are part of the one who return to the All-Mother, Father, Creator of the cosmos. How do we honor the free will of those who are forgetting? If and when it's time to move into a new time, to become the shift. What do we do with those who do not want to join us, whose free will choice is to continue in timelines that are falling away? in a reality that is simply a loop. It's becoming the loop of a never-ending pocket reality. We, as the Akash and as the Awaken Aware Human Collective, concurrently ask you to consider, with the immense neuroplasticity, those who will be attracted to Sarah's work have. Please consider, are you in a pocket reality now? What is the lower astral? And if this is not it, how do we keep from becoming it? Many here are way showers, and showing the way is dying to self over and over and over again. I'm being shown many levels of reality all at once right now. The imagery being used is from a client, collaborator, and friend's recent BQH session, and it will be shared online. So I feel comfortable mentioning that it's involving water travel, but also travel through quantum realities, timelines, versions of his soul's existence, while a human incarnation in about the 1400s was assisting in the management of a massive ship in the water here. And I'm being shown this by the Akash as a reminder that we are always moving, creating, and in deep communion and connection with every other version of our soul's experiences, bodies and not bodies that we are in at any given time. This has been a little bit more intense, like the transmission that chose to come through related to these collective energies has been a little bit darker, and I say darker and I mean it, not that dark is bad, but there's a lot of heaviness right now. And so I didn't realize that this was the direction that the Akash would take. I offer to you that in the midst of all the darkness, there is always joy, and that the true dark is something I'm very, very comfortable with. And it's incredibly important as we continue to function as the facilitators of the dissolution and dismantling of the parasitic structures that no longer serve us. These systems that have been put in place to harm us, to remain centered. We must remain centered. We must remain and stand firmly within the coherent heart womb and heart mind. And that doesn't mean every moment will be happy or be joyful, but there is always grace and love and joy and happiness available as we do the work that we came to do. It is a time of very rapidly converging realities and timelines. I'm being shown a book about the Essenes that somebody who this is intended for, whether you're here now or will be here later, needs to connect with. It is not a book that I have read. It's one I've had on my look at some point list. I think, I'm not even sure who the author is. It's Essenes, Children of Light. I can see, the Akashic is showing me the book. I'm going to offer that for whomever that may be intended for. And then I'm also concurrently being shown the fire of the indigenous peoples on whose land I sit right now, and the ancestors of all of us. I'm being asked to mention that when I was initiated into my shamanic work, there was a stream. There's a stream of these beautiful, beautiful, powerful medicine people, this consciousness stream from somewhere in Asia. I'm being told to hold on the specific lineage. And they came to me energetically, laughing with so much joy. And they said, "Thank you for answering the call. We are all ancestors. We are all here to remember. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." And when my shamanic dismemberment was performed by Bear and Gaia, the mother herself, and she passed my heart through hers, she said, "Thank you for answering the call." And so I guess to end the short but beautiful and intense mini Akashic intuitive stream tonight, I am being led to point you back to your own heart and ask you what the call is for you personally, and if you're answering it or if you are ignoring it. And if you are ignoring it, things are going to get more and more uncomfortable until you look it in the face. And for me, that meant and still means such a level of self-clarification and refinement, coming into such clarity and having a circle of powerful people, but in a really, really contained and small way, so that I can live this life that's no longer mine, for my children, for your children, for you, that I can be this stream that I've been asked to be. I answered the call, and I keep answering, and I keep dying these deathless deaths. And that's what we came to do, because it is the alchemy that we are here for. And it is through this process that this massive soul retrieval and rescue mission that we are on in this world will finally be successful. And it is how we will keep from falling into the trap of new old Atlantis, which is now, which is us. We are all in place. If we are to avoid what happened then, we are all to answer the call into radical accountability for the self, radical love and grace for self and others, and razor sharp discernment. You are loved, beloved, and now is not the time to go about your lives complacently, ignoring the call or the cries of a neighbor. Somebody here or tomorrow, whenever, someone that's watching this needs to quit smoking cigarettes. They're freaking disgusting, and I'm being shown we just collapsed a timeline in which there was a very rapid health deterioration related to cigarettes, and I'm being shown massive, and ceremonial tobacco would be fine for whomever this is for, but I was being shown like cigarettes this round, like this big around, and I don't know, 3 feet tall, all surrounding you. So we just collapsed a timeline in which your health deteriorated very rapidly in about 10 years related to this. Not even outside. That's where I was being shown you surrounded by these massive chemical-laden, parasitic cigarettes. Instead of a monkey on your back, one of you has a massive roach on your back. This is a roach energy entity parasite. If you feel like this is something that you need assistance with, do feel free to reach out to me for energy work. The link is in the chat. This opens up a quick note on consent, which I've been speaking about a little bit here and there recently. And that is that just because I can doesn't mean I should, and doesn't mean I will. And I do not do energy clearing on people without their conscious, awake, aware consent. This actually goes along with sovereignty and free will choice. And so when I am out at the store, just because I become aware of something does not mean that it is my job or my right to remove a thought form or something of that nature. Yeah. Hi, Truth Wave, Energy Meditation. Glad you're here. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that just because I can doesn't mean I will, and doesn't mean I should. And like right now, I can perceive that there is a massive roach entity that is plaguing somebody that is either watching now or will be watching at a later time. But that doesn't mean that I have clearance to take that off of them. Something that we were discussing recently, and I think he will write a thread about this, but somebody close to me was talking about how it's crucial that that thought forms not be removed without like enthusiastic consent of the person that you're removing them from, because thought forms are often created by the self, and they are often intended as protection. Even if they aren't functioning as that anymore, it's really, really important that we not go yanking stuff out of people's mental realm, or, thought forms become body forms and are in the energetic biofield as well. So that's something that's crucially important. It brings up the who knows better. Just because I'm a seer or just because I'm tapped in doesn't mean that I should be performing work on anybody without their request. And I wanted to touch on that because it goes along with the fine line that we are walking as people who may be a few steps ahead on the collective path. And unless the mother herself says to me, this help is needed, this is serious, or if I see somebody who is plagued with an entity who is going to harm one of my children or myself, then you can bet that that becomes spiritual warfare and all bets are off. But do not go doing energy work on people without their consent as a general rule. This is part of how we honor one another while being devoted to our work and craft and staying true to the heart. So I'm just really, really grateful that you guys are here. Coco, mini Akashic sessions are purchased prior to the live stream starting. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I announce those several hours before I go live. Tonight was just a collective Akashic reading because nobody had reached out with enough time to do that. Sometimes I will do some like pendulum or muscle testing. And ask a question, but those have to be yes, no questions. That's what I offer free from time to time. So you can find me at Sarah Descending on Twitter and Instagram and follow there, and lives will be announced if you would like to or you can go look at my Stan Store link that my moderators put in the chat. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that. Yes. So I think this probably concludes what the Akasha and like the energy streams that I was working with wanted to bring through tonight. I'm just going to feel and scan anything, see if there's anything more. Okay, this comes up in my individual work frequently, but milk thistle is coming up really prevalently. She is a wonderful plant for liver support. She helps significantly with gentle liver support and detoxification as you are working on gently, moderately, a layer at a time, releasing the anger and resentment that the liver and gallbladder typically assist us in holding within the body when they haven't been processed and felt. And I'm seeing there's about 3 people who need to read up and research milk thistle. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I am just an energy intuitive who happens to be able to connect with herbs and the human body and biofield and energy bodies very well and gets lots of information about that. But again, everything I offer is for you to take and consider yourself. Do your own research. Milk thistle is in the daisy family. I think it's the Asteraceae family. So if you are sensitive to plants in that family, it may not be for you. It is very gentle. It is also very readily available, and many people tolerate it just fine. So I always want to give that caveat when I'm offering health or wellness advice. anything you ingest, you need to ingest or consume via your own free will choice. Let's see. The other thing that always comes up is magnesium and minerals. Magnesium malate is my favorite form of magnesium. If you're feeling tired and depleted, a lot of that is related to the dense energies that we are assisting in transmuting. However, I'm seeing, and what I myself have experienced was that I was getting a little bit low in B vitamins lately. So I'm feeling like I'm supposed to be recommending everybody feel into their vitamin B status and mineral status. If you are sweating a lot or expending a lot of energy physically, you need more minerals. We need significantly more minerals than is being recommended. Someone here needs to connect with the energy consciousness of salt and seek guidance on what the appropriate amount of salt is for you to have in a day. It is more than you think, and your adrenals are needing support. And salt soothes the adrenals. Anybody who is telling you that it's that low salt stuff, that was misinformation from the 90s. Leave that behind. That is not true. Someone needs to research Lugol's iodine. I'm just hearing not seaweed. They're saying if you're someone who's been trying to like take seaweed, I'm just going to offer to you that I'm being shown a big bottle of J. Crow's Lugol's iodine. So I'm going to offer that. And with that, I think I am going to close because it's a little bit later. I started a little later tonight than I wanted to. And I want to thank you so much for coming. I'd love to connect with you personally. Some of you are being asked to remember your water lifetimes as water beings or as aspects of the water. I'm being shown like a really sparkly, beautiful sea with lots of life, connecting deeply with the water that you are and the water that you were, as well as the liquid plasma love that we all come from, is going to be really helpful in connecting with these lifetimes. So again, thank you guys for hopping on. I'm going to be trying to go live here 2 or 3 times a week. If you would like to connect with me, Twitter is my primary platform at Sarah Descending. I'm also on Instagram. From Instagram, you'll find my Facebook pretty easily. Getting a little bit more active on Substack and TikTok too. So thank you for coming, and I will talk with you all soon. Have a wonderful night or morning, afternoon if you're somewhere else in the world. Bye, guys.